Today I'm going to show you how to install and remove a controller on a RipRacer. All right, the tools that you're going to need are 2.5mm Allen wrench, a 3mm Allen wrench, some side cutters or scissors, needle nose pliers, some zip ties, and some rubbing alcohol. Before we start, we're going to turn the bike off, and then we're going to remove the battery, and then turn the battery off also. All right, we're going to start by cutting the zip tie that holds the motor cable in right here. So carefully cut that, then unscrew the motor connection here. Also, you're going to find the connection that goes to your headlight right here. You're going to disconnect that, so pull carefully right here. And then if there is a zip tie holding that, you're going to carefully cut this zip tie right there. Pull this down. We're going to start by removing the rubber grommet here on the bottom. And then remove this top rubber grommet. Now we're going to remove this rubber strip right here that's covering this channel. You can try to remove it by hand. You can just push down on it. And if it's kind of hard to push down, you can actually use the needle nose pliers, carefully grab it. Grab it, and pull it off. After you remove the rubber channel, you're going to pull down some of these cables here. You're going to find the one here with this connection. This is your power connection, XT60 connection. It could be zip tied together like that, so you're going to cut the zip tie and remove it. And then disconnect that. And then you're going to look, find any other cables that are hanging down here. You're going to find the one here for the headlight. You're going to bring that down also out of the way. There. Then you're going to find the connection for your tail light. You kind of fish that out. And you're going to disconnect that connection also. There. Now we're going to remove these two bolts right here on this plate. So you're going to use your 2.5mm Allen tool. You're going to loosen these bolts up. Remove them. All right, if your plate is stuck on there like this and it doesn't come out easy like this one, you actually can put like a screwdriver or this tool up in here and then push on the plate from back here. So there's like a hole right there and you can push back and that will help get the plate off. Now you're going to take your 3mm Allen and you're going to remove these two bolts right here. These are actually holding the controller to the bicycle. They could be a little hard to get off, so you might need a little bit of force. And then to get to this one, you might have to rotate this just in the right position right here. So rotate the chain ring and remove that bolt. So now your controller's loose in here. Two last connections actually that you're gonna unhook. You're going to pull these wires out. This is going to be your 4-to-1 cable that leads up to your handlebars up that way. You're going to pull that one out. And then this one here goes to your cadence sensor, and you're going to pull that one apart too. All right, so after you got your two connections undone, just grab the controller from the top here and just pull it out. Gonna fish all the cables out. There's your motor connection, your XT60, this is your headlight connection. Now your controller is out. Now we're going to install the new controller. So what you're gonna do is, first I would take your cables here, especially your long one right there. Start fishing it through these holes here. Pull it out, get it out of your way. Then there's a hole that's back here. I would put the motor cable through that one. And then you have your XT60, your power. You put it through that hole too. Fish this one right here with the yellow connection up, this long one here, up through the seat tube. It's kind of got a little hole right in there. Just make sure you find it, and then you can fish that up all the way through. And once you've got those in, and get your controller in like this, and kind of move all these other cables out of the way the best you can. And then we're going to bolt the controller onto the side there, but before you do that, you can grab your connection here for your other yellow connection here. That's going to be for your cadence sensor. So you can go ahead and connect that up. You're going to find your 4-to-1 connection that goes up to your handlebars, and you're going to make sure that's going through the bottom here, and you're going to hook that back up. So line up the arrows. There's 2 little arrows right there. Press it together. Make sure it's pressed in there really tight. Sometimes it's easy to think it's actually hooked up and it isn't. And this is going to kind of go to the side up here like this. And then we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to put the bolts back on to mount the controller to the bike. So now you're going to have the controller back here. You're going to kind of push the controller, and you're going to try to line up the hole, at least get this top one lined up. You're going to look for the threaded hole there. It might take a little bit of time. Just kind of move it around with your hand over here on the other side. Once you find the hole, get the bolt in there. And I'll take your next bolt, and with your 3mm, should be pretty much aligned right there, and there you go. Tighten that one down too. Make sure they're pretty snug. You want them not too tight, but you do want them pretty snug. There. All right, now that you have the controller, it's bolted to the side of the frame here. Again, double check all your connections, make sure they're connected. Kind of just route them up here like this. Now you're going to take your motor connection that's hanging down here and line this up. Screw this in. That's in. And then we're going to take a zip tie. Get a zip tie. Zip tie it right here. Cut off the excess. All right, so you're going to find this XT60 connection. This is your power connection. It's going to hook up to the battery dock. And so you're going to find the one hanging down here from the battery dock. And it could be kind of a tight connection, so you're going to make sure you get it all the way over here as far as you can. Line this up. Hook it up. And then I definitely recommend grabbing the zip tie like this and go in between the 2 wires right there and the 2 wires down here on the bottom. And so we're zip tying this connection so it doesn't inadvertently disconnect if somehow the wire is pulled from the bottom here or something like that. Cut off the excess. And then we're going to tuck that into the channel. Then any other cables you have hanging down here, take your brake hose, you're going to tuck it into the channel also. And here your 4-to-1 connection will tuck into that channel. And then we do have one last connection. That's going to be for your headlight. And we're going to bring that into the channel also. And find the other end of your headlight right here from the end here, the red connection. All right, so you have the little notch and the arrow. And here you're going to have a notch and an arrow. You're going to line them up, put them together. And now we're going to go to your tail light connection. Now we're going to take this yellow tipped connector that you fish through up here through the seat tube. And then you're going to find the connector here for your tail light. Again, you're going to line up the notches. And you also have arrows on here. Arrows are kind of hard to see, but they're there. You're going to line those up. Put them together, and you can stuff this back down when you're done. Down and out of the way. So you're going to double check this, make sure all the connections are connected that are going to be inside here. Make sure all these wires are kind of cleanly out of the way, because we're going to put this door panel back onto here, and so we don't want it pinched in between any of this. So make sure everything is up and out of the way. So now you're going to take your 2.5 Allen tool, place this panel right there, this door. You're going to take your small little bolt there, put it into here. Screw it into there. Your other bolt, screw it in there. Now you got the panel back on there. Now we're going to put the rubber strip back onto the channel here. So this is the strip that's going to cover this channel. I always recommend using some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Put some into the channel right here on the rubber strip. This is going to make it easier to slide into the channel. So you're going to take the rubber strip, try to line it up into the channel there. And then push it up. And make sure it's kind of in the middle here, because you're going to put your rubber grommets back in also, so make sure there's room for those. So now you're going to put the rubber grommet back on, so we're going to do the lower one first. I usually put the solid part up here, and just kind of get it the best you can in there. Get it into the channel. There you go. All right, so what I did is I used the solid part right here, not the split part. I put it up on here. So you got a little channel right in here, and you're gonna stick it between the channel in here, between the frame. And might take a little fiddling around with it, but just use your fingers, get it in there. Get it in there as evenly as you can. It should just stick right in there between the frame and these in this channel right there. So now we're gonna put this top rubber grommet on. Same thing. Have the solid part right here, and then I'm gonna be sticking it in between the frame. And just kind of move your cables around there out of the way. There we go. Now the top one's on also. Also, I recommend putting a zip tie right here, kind of holding your, this is for your headlight, your 4-to-1 and your brake cable. This kind of keeps it clean. So just put a zip tie right there. Now kind of keep them together. Cut off the excess. And when you are putting these zip ties on, just put them on pretty snug, but not too tight, because you don't want to end up crushing the wires. So it's just enough to hold it. All right, now we're ready to install the battery. So you're going to go ahead and turn your battery on. Put your battery into the bike. You're going to turn the battery on. Then put your key in here. Turn the key, put the battery in. Turn on the display. You can tip the bike over, kind of on its kickstand, be careful. You don't want the wheel to hit. You can give it a real quick check. Looks like everything's hooked up. Double check your brake light should go on. Check your front light. Make sure that goes on. And turned it off. I'm going to turn it back on again just to double check it. And everything's going on. And also check to make sure none of your cables are in the way. Everything is out of the way. This isn't hitting anything. And you should be ready to ride now. Thanks for watching and happy riding.